In 2005, Capcom released Resident Evil 4, and gaming was never the same. The fourth installment of the long-running horror franchise was instantly recognized as a classic, and it pioneered many of the tropes, mechanics, and story beats that defined the action horror genre for more than a decade. By the way, the game still holds up almost 20 years after its initial release, but since many of the creative types working in the industry would rather siphon from the past and create new content, Resident Evil 4 is following its predecessors, Resident Evil 2 and 3, to get a remake. And unfortunately, like so many remakes, remasters, redos, whatever nowadays, this updated Resident Evil 4 features a plethora of changes designed to make the game feel more accessible to modern audiences. Far more terrifying than any zombie plague or mutated monstrosity is the modern audience, an excuse for game developers to remove all the fun from a piece of pop culture nostalgia and replace it with leftist-approved messaging. Looking at Resident Evil 4, that means removing all the campy fun from the original game and replacing it with industry-standard dark and gritty realism. For example, player-controlled protagonist Leon S. Kennedy has morphed from a too-cool-for-school action hero with hilariously bad one-liners into a brooding, cynical cyborg, and comically annoying sidekick Ashley Graham has been radically remade into what appears to be a strong female character. It's worth noting here, by the way, before I get all the angry feminists yelling at me, I'm not taking issue with powerful females in gaming. Strong women like Ciri and Yennefer from the Witcher series and Samus Aran from the Metroid series are great. I love them. They're phenomenal characters. My issue comes with characters that are basically just men portrayed by women, something that the new Ashley seems to embody. And it's somewhat bizarre, by the way, that they decided to go in this direction for the Resident Evil 4 remake because those over-the-top character traits were part of what made the original game so memorable in the first place. Now, while I would love to talk endlessly about the boringification of a cherished game from my youth, I must confess, the reason I picked Resident Evil as the topic for this week's episode is because I am absolutely giddy to watch how the radical left is going to respond to the inevitable remake of Resident Evil 5. That game received a mountain of criticism from leftists back when it came out in 2009 because it takes place in rural Africa, and many of the zombies were black. Uh-oh, can't have black people as the bad guys. A think piece from The Gamer took the liberty of preemptively saying that Resident Evil 5 would have to be wholesale updated for modern audiences because it was too racist for a remake. Our deeply concerned author, by the way, a biological male pretending to be a woman because, of course, writes, there was something uneasy about how the game depicted Africa, and the awkward marketing eager to focus on a white man waltzing into an impoverished town only to murder its inhabitants. Okay, ironically, Resident Evil 5 actually received praise when it came out because of its secondary protagonist. Players control not only waltzing white man Chris Redfield, but a black woman named Shiva Alomar who serves as the player's backup and can kick ass all her own. Now guys, envision with me the Resident Evil remake. The game starts with white man Chris apologizing to Shiva for his white privilege as she single-handedly fights back a horde of zombies in a black Trans Lives Matter t-shirt, and she periodically berates Chris for being a straight white male. The game ends with a guest appearance by Ibram X. Kendi, who chastises the player for not being anti-racist enough. Roll credits. In all seriousness, old games don't need to constantly be updated to fit with current trends. In fact, the best old games are timeless because they don't shoehorn in that stupid messaging that placates San Francisco liberals who, honestly, don't play video games anyway. Guys, I'll take my old, badass, one-liner spewing Leon S. Kennedy over a boring, modern cyborg any day.